Hello, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Audrie Ashiali Oduor. I'm a high school teacher of English language and literature. I think I have done that introduction like 1,001 times, but I'm doing this for the new subscribers on this account. So for those ones who are new, welcome. And I hope you will enjoy the content over here. For those ones who are returning subscribers, asanteni sana. Thank you so much for being with me in this journey. Well, today I'll be talking about how I transitioned from Middle East in Bahrain to Central Asia, that is in Uzbekistan. Well, this is also another school that I would recommend, and I actually recommended someone who got employed there. He gave us a very nice review. I have recommended so many people. Again, if you're looking into an international school or a school that is doing the international curriculum, it's one of the schools I would actually recommend for any teacher. So being in Middle East for 5 years was something that was a bit different from where I had come from. And that one not only implied about the culture, it also implied about the type of students I was interacting with. Now, when an opportunity came up in Uzbekistan, I had no issues trying to apply to it. Why? This is because, sorry, I had to adjust my camera. This is because I had been in Bahrain for 5 years and I felt like there was need, for me to change. My daughter was also almost getting to high school and I was looking for a school that could actually take me in with her after a year. And in Bahrain, unfortunately, the Arabian Palgaf school does not give tuition for teachers. So this is one of the things that, and I felt like I actually needed to move. Other than that, I had been in the school for 5 years and I felt like, I have taught all forms of English and maybe I should try somewhere else for professional growth as a person. And so, yeah, so here I am trying to look for opportunities. First, I remember in 2019, I applied to a school in India, did an interview, actually 2 interviews, got the job, but could not get the visa. It was so frustrating, so frustrating because I really, really, really was looking for something better in terms of finance, in terms of a new challenging opportunity. But anyway, life happened. So I ended up being in Bahrain for 5 years. Now, before resigning, I applied to a school in Uzbekistan. I'm not going to mention this school because I did not end up there. But something happened with the recruiter, and that is what prompted me to apply to the school that I went to in Uzbekistan. So while I was applying to this school, they actually do this. They do the background check and they ask for references from schools straight away. So even if you provide your referees, they would want to get references from the principals in those schools. So by then I couldn't be able to give my then principal's contact because I had not resigned and I felt that they could jeopardize the opportunity itself. So I didn't give those contacts, but rather I gave the contacts of my previous employer that was in Aga Khan, and then where I did my teaching practice at Chania Boys. So I gave those two. Who was the third person I gave? I think those two, if I'm not wrong. And I gave Miss Salima's address as well. Yeah, she's a senior teacher in Bahrain at Arabian Palgaf school. She was a good friend of mine. So after applying, and this lady insisted on contacting my referees, she sent messages through LinkedIn instead of sending an official email address. Instead of even sending an email using the official email address, sorry. That was shocking. But anyway, because she sent messages through LinkedIn, of course, not everyone is on LinkedIn and not everyone was able to see the messages. By the time they were coming to reply, she had cancelled my second interview. And she said, because your referees were late to respond, we'll probably reschedule, but she'd never. I really felt bad because it was just 5 minutes to the second interview. But I told myself, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Okay? So out of the frustration that I felt because I had really prepared for this second interview, and 5 minutes into the interview, she cancelled it. I remember actually getting from work and getting home so quickly, so fast, so that I can be able, to freshen up and prepare and sit down to do my interview. But then I ended up not doing the second part of the interview, and that is what made me try to apply to other schools. So now today, I'm here to give two flowers. Yes, again, as usual, I have had people who have held my journey, my hands. I have had websites that have also been very essential, and pay attention to this website. So, out of frustration, I contacted one of my former colleagues, Paul Obita. These are your flowers. Mwah! Thank you so much. So I contacted Paul Obita and I told him I was trying to apply to this school in Uzbekistan, but unfortunately, my interview was cancelled and I'm really frustrated because my referees were not able to blah, 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 blah. So what happens? He says, actually, you can try the presidential schools because they are recruiting for the next academic year. I was like, yeah, in Uzbekistan, yes. So he sends me the Teacher Way website link. And what do? Madam Audrey being the risk taker, I go online, Google teacherway.com. Yeah, create my profile, upload my CV, and 2 days later, the head of recruiting, by then who was doing recruiting was called Katie. Katie contacts me and schedules a phone interview. Where can you imagine, from an interview that was cancelled for a different school, I'm here being scheduled for an interview for another school, courtesy of Teacherway and courtesy of Paul Obita for sharing this particular website with me. So here I am. I have been scheduled for, I think it was a 20 minutes call or 30 minutes call with Katie. Katie is a Canadian. And by the way, I ended up recommending people to Katie that have worked in Uzbekistan. I'm a very good person, yeah? I recommend people to the best places I've been. So yes, I do the first pre-screening interview with Katie, and she gets to understand me, gets to know what I'm looking for, and if I'm able to travel with family, blah, 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 and all those kind of details. And she actually tells me a little bit about the school. By then, Presidential School had only, I think, 3 campuses or 4 campuses, and now they were opening, they had Tashkent, Nukus, Kiva, and Namangan. And they were adding, I think, 6 more campuses to make them 10 or 9 more. I can't recall. There are a lot of campuses were being opened up. So that is where the opportunity came in. So she explained to me about the salary and other benefits that are there. And after that interview, the pre-screening interview, I did my first interview with, what was his name? I've forgotten the name, but this guy was in charge of recruiting. And then I also did, I think there were 2 people in the panel. That was the head of recruiting for presidential schools. He was an Uzbek. And there was a coordinator. I think he was the academic director for a school. I can't remember, but he was part of the interviewing panel. So yeah, I had about 30 to 35 minutes interview, or 30 to 45 minutes. I can't really remember, but I remember it was more than 30 minutes. And yes, guys, I think in minute 5, I actually knew I'd gotten the job. I've always had that feeling. After minute 5, you always feel like, you've said something and you feel like this is it. So in minute 5 of my interview, about 5 or 7 minutes, I knew straight away I had gotten the job. Praise Lord. Yeah. So here I was, finished my interview. I think after 2 days or 3 days, I received their first offer letter and the documentation. Oh my God. Where? Have you ever filled up an application and submitted documents until you were like, what really happened? Yes. Uzbekistan. Where were we? I submitted documents until I was like, hey, Kwani, what are you people looking for? I submitted documents, did my medical test, nikatumana sijui, certificate of good conduct, referees from every form, everywhere I had worked. Now, I had to resign, I think in April. So on 30th of April, I got my job, I think in March of 2021. So end of April, I gave in my resignation letter after 5 years at Arabian Paragraph School. Yeah, way. That was so risky. You're resigning. You're not sure if you'll get a visa for a school. You don't even know what is going to happen in that school. But here I was. I resigned in April of 2021. That is 30th of April 2021. We had to give 2 months notice, if I'm not wrong. So my contract ended on 30th of June 2021. And guys, from Teachaway, I got my second international teaching job. So these flowers are for Paulo Bita for sharing that particular website with me, and for Teachaway and Katie for believing in me and for employing not only I as a Kenyan, but so many Kenyans who are still working in the presidential schools of Uzbekistan. Now, at Presidential School of Uzbekistan, in my entire life of teaching, I have never met students as amazing, as respectful, courteous, kind, responsible as those kids. Honestly, hey, those kids are selected, in terms of their behavior, in terms of their performance. This is not an ordinary school where you're just going to pay fees. No, these kids are selected based on their performance, and the government actually sponsors them into doing the Cambridge curriculum. So I was at the Presidential School of Ghana, and I was there for only 1 year. I will tell you in my next video why I had to leave. But honestly, this is one place I would always recommend to anyone who's looking to just enjoy and have a fulfillment in terms of teaching, because those kids are eager to learn. They are willing to learn. They are so respectful. They have the desire and the art, and they understand the importance of education. Sio wengine wenye I will not mention. But there are kids who really don't give a hoot about education. They're just there because their parents are taking them to school. Their parents are paying expensive school fees, and they have to be there. But this one, I would say for free. Not every other school in Uzbekistan, but the Presidential School of Uzbekistan. Those kids, there are 14 campuses. Those kids are selected. Yeah? Based on behavior, based on performance. So you're meeting the cream of the cream in the entire country. Okay? So, if you are looking to also apply in Central Asia, why not try Uzbekistan? And why not consult with us? We are far much better placed to advise you on what and how you need to start your international teaching journey. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. In my next video, I hope I'll be able to do another video explaining how I was now able to move from the Presidential School of Uzbekistan to Russia, where I am at the moment. And I'm also here with my daughter, which is one of the benefits that you get as an international teacher. So thank you so much for your time, and bye-bye.